I would say that it started back in the mid-80s when I was in my 20s in London, and across the television screens came the images of the starvation camps fresh out of Ethiopia. On the back of those images, Bob Geldof mobilized this whole Live Aid, Band Aid movement, and I was so impressed by him and how he was able to shoulder that and, you know, created this huge awareness. And it really was a moment in time that I figured, you know, that I really, really understood the depths of one person can make a difference.
A Glimmer of Hope starts with Donna's heart. I had just concluded my .com career, and Donna was already down the path of seeking to help relieve some of the pain on the planet. And I watched the videos of her walking the streets of Addis Ababa, handing out loaves of bread to people who lined the street. I knew that something had shifted or changed, and that's what made me curious to follow her down this path, to go a few months later and see for myself.
Every single day, mothers are burying their children because they're too poor to live. And whilst there's a lot of awareness there, it's almost like, where do we get to share in this responsibility? You know, it's not theirs alone. You know, we all get to be in this together.
Once I went to rural Ethiopia for the first time, and I saw and touched and smelt poverty in a rural setting. Saw humans, brothers and sisters, existing in a form that I just hadn't seen before. And it was after that that I gave up and turned my back on my commercial career and realized that there was something way more purposeful, way more meaningful, way more worthwhile, and joined Donna on this journey. To me, it became apparent that there may be a way of building a better model of delivering aid, a more efficient means of delivering money, so that 100% of the money could get to the people in need.
There's no way that we or any other NGO working outside of a developing nation can know what the true needs of the communities are. So we go to them and we ask them, what do you need? How can we help?
We started in a village called Dembidolo, a fairly not well-known village in southwest Ethiopia. And I remember I was brought to a field, and I was shown this field, and I said, why are you showing me this? And they said, this is where we want to build the school. And that was the first project ever for A Glimmer of Hope. And after we'd built the school, they showed us the hospital. And that is an atrocious place to visit. People lying in beds, in sheets that you wouldn't even wrap your dog in. People lying there with burns. Mothers dying on the birthing table, giving birth to their children. It was a shocking scene, and we were invited to help there with the healthcare, to rehabilitate the hospital. And later on, we were asked to help with water. And in that village, we built our pilot program, and we learned that the Ethiopians have the intellect, the will, the courage, and the ability and capacity to help themselves if they're provided the capital and the resources to help them lift themselves out of poverty. The way to help people lift themselves out of poverty is to help them make money. And so we, on the economic development side, have recently created some new initiatives where we're providing capital, money, grants for microcredit. We're providing money to rural farmers, small loans, so they can buy low-cost irrigation pumps, so they can buy drip kits, so that, and we're seeing this, that fields that were formerly rock and rubble are turning into fields of green, full of crops. And those crops ensure that the farmer and his family will always have food on their table. Farmers are lifting themselves out of poverty with these microloans.
It's about people. And if you can really impact the lives of the people on a local level and elevate themselves, whether it's, you know, to become a great entrepreneur, to just having enough that they're not in danger. If famine comes, that they have a little bit of surplus that they can take to the marketplace and sell, that they know that they're not in fear of their lives.
The first thing that's different about A Glimmer of Hope is it's not a traditional charity. And what that means is that with this pool of money that we have invested in A Glimmer of Hope, that creates the resource, the money, the cash, that can cover all of the overheads and provides the grants. For anybody considering to donate through A Glimmer of Hope to the people in Ethiopia, knowing that all of the overheads are being paid by A Glimmer of Hope from this endowment, this pool of money, means that there are no management overheads, there are no travel expenses. All of that is paid for by A Glimmer of Hope to ensure that 100% of the donor's dollar passes through this secure pipeline that goes directly into our own office in Addis Ababa, and from there directly to the local and regional Ethiopian self-help organizations. It's a very secure and different channel of distribution for donor dollars and grant aid to reach the people in need.
As others saw what we were doing, as others saw the model and liked it, there was that sense of, can we be part of this? And so over the years, we've had, as I say, other families step up and other organizations and foundations step up. And then we realized that we had something special.
For some reason, we were sent to do this work. And it feels very purposeful. And it fills our hearts, it fills our lives. And it has had such a wonderful impact on our family and our children. And I feel that we're very blessed to have the opportunity to do this work in this lifetime.
I think we have a gift. And I think that the gift is, it's the opportunity that I can say to you, if you feel it, and it matters to you, and you feel this sense of shared responsibility, then I can offer you the vehicle that you know that 100% of your donation is going to get to our partners on the ground in Ethiopia who serve the local communities who live in extreme poverty.
When you visit a village and you see the water well pumping water for the first time, and you see these children dancing in this stream of water and splashing it, and the smile on the women's faces and the joy in people's lives. When you walk amongst in the classrooms and see these children in rural Ethiopia speaking wonderful English in their English classes. When you see people in hospitals, from children that start out with distended bellies and diseases in their stomach, and a few weeks later are walking out because the doctors and the medicines and the facilities are there. And I think anybody would be deeply affected and deeply moved when you walk amongst the people, and particularly when you see the progress, their faith, and their hope for a better future.
We truly believe that we can see the end of poverty in Ethiopia in our lifetime. And that's what we're working towards. That's why we want others to join us on this journey, because we think that we found a blueprint that can really work towards that goal. So I would say that's the big lofty goal, the big lofty dream that we happen to actually believe, because we can see how it can happen, and we just want to be part of that.